Well, hello, everyone, and good evening. Today is Saturday, February the 1st. Happy Black History Month for everyone. I just really wanted to come on here. I'm still trying to figure out my dates and times of when I want to go live, and I should just be like, "Well, every day, why not?" But I was in a TikTok live. I know I just came from the gym. When the teacher bun is up, it's time to get the job done. But I was on TikTok live listening in with the latest and greatest of the Hillman University and the things that are going on behind the scenes. It's very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So, I don't want to bash anybody. I just want to share some information because I felt like this is a really big teacher's moment when it comes to people that want to jump in and start a ooh, hello. I don't know what's going on here. That wants to start a new business, that want to expand, that wants to grow. And I really felt that this was a huge teacher's moment. So, with the whole Hillman, I love the whole idea of it. It's for us, it's by us, it's for people that want to educate, share their God given tips and tricks and ideas of their businesses out to everyone that wants to jump on. And it exploded. Let's just be real. It really exploded, and I think that the powers that be that were supposedly running this did not expect it to blow up this quickly at such a rate, to the point that the owner, or I should say the founder, there was two young ladies, they all of a sudden decide to stop. They're no longer running it. They're no longer so listening in, and then finally getting some people that know or in the know was able to come and basically voice their opinions on it, and it really jumped at me. So this is what's happening. A lot of people signed up for the courses, and you have a lot of people that are professors, I'm using air quotes, um, of their craft. So what they did was they designed a whole bunch of discords, organized all these people. Do you know that 12,000 people signed up for courses? Let me move close to the mic for that. 12,000 people signed up in that first night. And guess what? There was only four. Four people had to organize 12,000 people to put them in those Discord rooms to get the professors situated in order for these things to happen. Okay? Realistically, that's a lot. Okay? That is a lot. So, with that being said, then on top of it, there was a lot of miscommunication. There's a lot of people that needed to know answers. We have classroom advisors, we have student unions, we have other people trying to organize, and there was little to no communication. And then one of the advisors, there was this one particular lady that was like, "Hey, let me help you with curriculum because that's what I do at my college. Like, that's what I do. I want to help. I want this to grow. I want this to expand." And they were like, "Okay, yeah, sure. Come on in and let's invite, let's hope." And some people started asking questions like, "Hey, like, what's going on with the board? Hey, Ann, like, what's happening with the board?" And there was silence. Fast tracking, they don't have a board. So right now we have a lot of people that are professors teaching their courses, probably doing phenomenal. But then I think the problem that a lot of people had was the safety of it. What's the safety? What's going on with this thing? So this just quickly reminded me of the fact that We always want to do business. I always see a lot of people that are like, I want to get into business. I want to do tutoring or I really just want to jump in. And then right away, they want to do websites and they want to do t-shirts and hats. And they're making their own pencils with their names on it and business cards. And they want to do the stuff, but they don't know what's going to happen because things are about to blow up. And I think it happened rather quickly. And the powers that be, they didn't have their systems in place. And this goes for any business that you're about to do. I know you get excited. You're like, yes, I want to buy stuff and do stuff and make it all cute. But in order for to make a business be sustainable, you really have to work. And when I say work, I don't mean just building all that stuff. I mean like doing your research. If you're going to have something like a university, you guys need to really talk to people that actually do universities and figure out who is your board of trustees. And the other thing was they want to make this into a nonprofit, but the nonprofit is not even completed. So it's like a lot of the foundational pieces were missing. Their heart was in the right place, and I want to see it expand. I want to see it grow. I want to see it gel. But a lot of the premise, the things that builds it, was not there. Just like any business that you want to do. You have your skill set and you want to keep your skill set. But here's the problem. You have to do your research. You need to know who your competitors are. What is it that they're doing so you can figure out what's going to make you more genuine, what's going to make you more unique. And in order for you to figure that out, you're going to have to do your research. You're going to have to figure out who is going to be the person, getting all my highs in. Hi, hi, hi. I'm like, who is going to be, like, if you're going to do something big like a university, like a school, okay? Even if you do an academy, like a summer academy, winter academy, you still have to figure out who's going to be in charge of X, Y, Z. Who is going to be in charge of doing the emails? Who's going to be in charge of doing the application piece? Who is going to be in charge of collecting funds if there are funds? Who's going to be in charge to make sure that the professors are getting their resources? Who's going to be in charge of make sure that the professors are doing what they say they're going to teach and not just try to put some propaganda in people's minds and taking advantage of people? We have to learn to like do our research. So like for me, for my business, I need to figure out who is going to be my ideal clients, who's going to be my niche. Like what is my niche? I need to also know like, am I just going to be online or am I going to be in person? If it's going to be in person, how much is that going to cost? What is the systems that I need to keep in place? How am I going to collect funds? How am I going to communicate with my parents and my students? How am I going to get information from them? And then figuring out my dates and times so I won't have any overlap or I won't have like, oh, I just basically have two kids at the same time and one's doing geometry, one's doing algebra 2. I need to have those things in place in order for this to be sustainable as well as scalable. So when I heard, oh, this was the other thing that got me, was someone asked about like, we want to make sure that the professors are protected. Is there a way, like, how do we know that they're okay? And they're just like, well, whatever the professors do, that's what they do. Pardon? Let's reel that back. What? So you have no idea, really. Well, you have an idea because they had to submit a picture or a video, and they had to do their like raw what is it, syllabus. There we go. They had to turn in a syllabus, a syllabi, and all that. Okay, I got that. But we all know that what's on the syllabus sometimes is not always performed in the classroom. And I know for people, if you're taking, like, say, community colleges, especially community colleges, they do this a lot. They have their syllabi, but they go through the classes very quickly. And there's going to be some things that's going to be probably taking more precedence than others because they had to take a little more extra time to make sure you understood that concept in order for you to move on. So when you have those things, some things are going to get tossed to the side. Some things are probably not going to get completely covered. But when I heard there wasn't a board of trustees and the two of the founders jumped ship, that raises an alarm. When they don't know exactly what the people are going to be doing in their classes, whatever they do, that raises an alarm. When people that are left behind, I feel bad for because they just want it to be something that was attainable. They really wanted to be something that was going to bring positivity to people. And I could feel it, I could sense it. But even though you want the positive, there's a lot of the back end stuff that needs to be done. And it's not. And a lot of people are having questions, and the ones that are still behind, they can't answer those questions, guys. You can sit there and be like, well, I need answers. I need answers. Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you right here now, you're not going to get answers because the people that need to provide those, the people that can provide those answers, they're no longer here. So when it comes down to and I'm going to put it in a tutoring business because that's what I know. That's what I know. That's what I've been growing. That's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. And I mean, I'm fully booked 4 out of the 5 years because my first year sucked. But when it came down to really turning my business around and really having people speak positive about my business, is because I had to put systems down in place. And sometimes the systems that you put down, you got to try some things out and see what works and see what doesn't work. So I saw this coming where they were developing the Hillman, and I really love the idea of it. But there's a lot of things that needs to be dealt with in order for it to be scalable. So I know all the 12,000 people that are there. Some of them are now not going to classes because they're so into it. But I don't want my experience with people going to community college, they get excited. They get excited about going to classes. And then after the first week, tons of people drop out. Because once I heard one of my former students said to me, Miss Audrey, yeah, this is really cool because I just signed up for like 65 credits. Say what? Why are you signing up for so much? How are you going to pay attention to stuff? She's like, yeah, I already got homework. I'm like, yeah. Like some people are taking this like very seriously, but some people are just like, hey, this is really cool. But 65 credits? Dude, no. Because all you're going to do is have these people take the time and energy to put these lessons together just for people to show up and then they don't show up. Now we got people running around saying that they're making t-shirts and all that. They weren't even approved. Like people saw this as an opportunity. Oh, okay, opportunity situation. Let me make t-shirts and sell it. Guess what? They're not selling t-shirts and sweatshirts. The original people, they're not selling any of that stuff. So it just seems like now they're talking their trademark, but we're talking trademark as soon as we open things up. Because a lot of those things, I don't think they understood how serious this was going to be or how huge this was going to be. So when I look at it, I think like they need to regroup and build up a board of trustees, get their trademarks together, get all their paperwork together, figure out who's going to be doing what, where, why. Because I think the people that are left behind to clean up the mess, they're awesome people. But right now, it's a mess. And it's fine. Like you learn from things. But I just wanted to come on here to say, for as you want to do and create your own business, take a moment. Don't let the excitement or the emotion about building your own business take over. And I know a lot of us think about Les Brown when he says, "Hey, just take off a leap and then grow your wings on the way down." Everyone's like, "Yes, I want to do it and I need to start now." But you need to do your research. You need to talk to people. You need to build your own pros and cons. What would be the pro about this business? What are the real legit cons about this business? And how much time do I have to invest in this business? It's a child. Every business is just like a child. It starts from the ground up. So, regardless of what you're thinking about doing, if it's tutoring, if it's babysitting, if it's doing a goat farm, okay, whatever it is that floats your boat, make sure you do your research. Talk to someone that's been doing it for 5+ years, the exact same thing that you want to do. Prime example, if you want to do online tutoring, talk to someone that has been doing online tutoring for 5+ years. Okay? Not someone that's been doing it for 5 days and then all of a sudden they want to have a tutoring business with people underneath them. Okay, that's cute. But guess what? Eventually, how long are they going to be in business for? There's so many people that start businesses, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 65 to 70% of the businesses that start are basically dead after a year. I don't want you to waste all that time and all that energy. Really, the first year of tutoring, and this is my new suggestion to a lot of people, just tutor. Don't even call it a business. Make it into a hobby. See if it builds. See if it's something that you want to do. Okay? If you go out there and you're just like, let me spend all this money and all this time, and all of a sudden you're just like, you know what? I really don't like tutoring. Like, this is cute and all, but this is not my thing. You just invested thousands and thousands of dollars for something that you're going to just chuck. I don't think so. Give yourself a year. Give yourself 1 year to play around, to really like put a flyer out, put some feelers out, see if it's something that you want to do, see if it's something that is worth your time and your investment. And then by year two, the summer, especially for tutoring, okay, usually the summer, like from June to early August, that's your time to reflect and to bet. And I can't believe here we are, February 1st. Before you know it, it'll be June. Okay. Then you're taking a moment to say, all right, what do I need? What are those things that I need to make my business go from here to here? And you have to be real with yourself. Is it something that you're going to need tons of paperwork for? Is it something that you're going to need a building for? Is it something that's just simple? I just need my room. Maybe it's that one junk room, because we all have that one room in our house that you're just like, oh dear God, I haven't done anything with it. And I felt like everything just kind of landed in there. Yeah, that room. Maybe I can make that room into my office. Okay, what do I need to do to make it into my office? Do I need to soundproof it? Do I need a fancy microphone? What kind of microphone? This is the time to do the research of all that stuff. This is how you grow. This is how you achieve. This is how you expand. So I just wanted to come on here really quick. And I think I'm going to be doing some kind of live almost every day. I don't know what time. Still trying to figure my life out, because right now tutoring is taking precedence. I'm starting to get more and more kids, and sometimes their schedules are a little wackadoo. Okay. But I really want you to share in what I've kind of experienced in this life. I want it to grow. I want it to excel. But right now, when it comes to starting a university or any kind of academic, the main thing should be your board of trustees. your main thing should be, it's great that you have all the discourse. It's great that you have a lot of attention and you organized all that. But right now, if you have someone that's teaching culinary arts, all it takes is one student to say, I tried that food and I got really sick. All it takes is that one person to shut that down. And then you have nothing. And they can sue you for everything you got, especially if you don't have an LLC or if you don't have any kind of protection. If you need any kind of assistance with all that, I have friends on here that will gladly guide you into the right direction. But you have to make sure that you are protected. They can simply say that the professors are protected. But how? Not just because you can't say they're protected and then all of a sudden turn around and say, well, whatever the professors do, that's what they do. Mm-mm. Okay. So I'm using this as a teaching moment. Okay. So my whole thing is any kind of business that you're about to do, please do your research. Just do your research. Okay? Before you dive in. I know we all want to jump off the edge and grow our wings on the way down, but sometimes we still need more materials in order to grow those wings. So we really have to get that. So if you're on here and you are an online tutor and you want to either build up your online tutoring business, or if you're a person, maybe a parent that's looking for an online tutor, you can also message me as well. I have my own online tutoring business from 7th to adult learners. So it's called ACG Math Tutoring. So I do everything from Algebra 1 all the way up to college algebra. And if you are thinking about running your own tutoring business and you just don't know how and you want to get something more of a personalized experience, I'm your girl. Okay. This is my 5th year doing online tutoring, and it's like 4 out of 5 years I've been completely fully booked and have 5 stars straight across. If you want, you can Google me and you can see all the reviews that's on there. But at the same time, if you want to see any of my tips and tricks and all that stuff, I have a new YouTube channel. Now, this is designed for educators. If you're not an educator, I love how you want to support me. Support me here on TikTok. Support me here on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. But when it comes to the YouTube channel, I really and truly want those educators that want to learn how to tutor. And the name of the channel is You Can Tutor. Try to keep it simple. You as the letter U can tutor. And you can see a lot of my clips, my tips, my tricks, and there's going to be a couple more events that's going on there as well. All right. So if you ever need any suggestions, if you do need some assistance, this is the time of year. Parents are starting to look for tutors. This will be perfect example. All right. So if you're going to start any kind of business, hey, Lynette, if you're going to start any kind of business, go ahead and do that. But also stay on the lookout for a lot of my little videos that I actually do in my what? Handy dandy math notebook. Okay, so the ultimate math notebook. So if you ever need any help with organization with that, we can go ahead and do that. But I'm gonna do a different live. Are you streaming on your platforms? Yes, I am. Always. The whole setup is all kinds of crazy. I'm telling you. If I just sneeze, everything is going to be going on. I was watching on Facebook. Yes, I'm here. So I will be coming back in about roughly 15 minutes so I can talk a little bit more about You Can Tutor. But I just wanted to come on here just to really brought that teaching moment. So actually, I think I might just stay on for another couple minutes. Lynette, would you like to come on? If so, we can have a nice little chit chat. Um, and I think some people can probably still hear me on Facebook. All right. So that'll be kind of cool. Um, I will send you an invite. All right. So I'm going to see if my friend Lynette wants to come on. And I think she is. Let's see if she can hear me. Hello. It's gone all left eye. All right. Da, da. I want to join. All right. You are joined. I am joined. That's so crazy. Can you hear me? I can hear you perfectly fine. Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, there we are. There we are. I mean, let me see if I can save. Where's mine? Yes. Streaming and on all your platforms, one on your phone and then StreamYard? And Wave. Yes. So okay. On my Wave, I have, which is very similar to StreamYard. So I have Facebook. What else am I doing? LinkedIn. I'm going live on, where else am I going live on? YouTube. And then TikTok's on my phone. Seriously, because your TikTok sounds really good, better than I think the Facebook one. I saw you on Facebook and then you're like, I'm on TikTok. I was like, oh. Here I am. Yeah, so it really did. Like I was just kind of on a live. I was in the gym working out, and all of a sudden I was like, let me watch this live. And I just, you go scrolling through as you're like dying on the machine. And I ran across, like everyone keeps talking about the Hillman University, and I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. And they were talking like how the original founders just upped and left. And they were like, wait, where they go? And so many people were asking, like, well, who's the president? Who's in charge? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? And I was just like, okay, that's very interesting. So I'm still listening. And then there was one particular lady, I can't remember her name, that she was just like, I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to tell you what's going on. So she just literally said that there's a lot of, there was some people that, wanted to do certain things. And it was like no one could really get a grip on what was happening. So that's different than TikTok University. Yeah, it was the new thing. It was great that a lot of people wanted to do it and to really get themselves out there, which I thought was awesome. And the way that was developed, it was like it was for us, it was by us, and really getting it down deep. And like some of the things, the courses that people were teaching was really interesting as well. But like I said, as soon as they opened the enrollment, 12,000 people signed up for courses. Wow. I think it almost crashed the website for a moment, and then the links weren't working, and they had 4 people to organize them into their groups. Wow. And I'm like, 4 people, 3,000 people per trying to do that in overnight? What? No one's doing it. Yeah. That's crazy. So when they were doing all of this, then all of a sudden someone's like, look, we need to talk to the powers that be and just say what's going on, like how can we organize it, how can we make it better? And all of a sudden they just disappeared. Yeah. And then they're like, well, who's in charge? Like, who's really in charge? Like, some people, this other lady, she was like, I'm just a co-founder. I'm really, this is nothing. I'm like, I really have a full-time job teaching. Yeah. And this, I was just here to help so I could, make this happen, just make it happen. So all of a sudden they finally asked the question, like, who's the president? And there was a pause. And she's like, why is there a pause? She's like, I'm one of the founders. I'm like, okay, that's great, but who's the president? Like, who is like all the back end stuff? Like, who's in charge of all that? And they came to a realization that there was no president. Who was it before? There was no board. Oh, wow. There was no board whatsoever. So that's not good. So there's no board. They have some people, Kelly's here. They have some people that were doing the student union. Then some people were taking advantage, as I was saying on here. Some people were taking advantage and saying, oh, there's this big, huge thing. So let me make t-shirts. I don't see anybody making t-shirts about it. Let me make t-shirts and sweatshirts. And they're like, that's not us. Someone else is taking that. So then there was someone that compromised their original website.
Yeah.
And then they developed another one. And it's just a lot. It's a lot. So that's why I'm just like, I wanted to come on here and just try to make it like a teaching moment. Like when you do your business, sometimes like we get excited that we want to start a business and then we forget that one thing that we have to do our research. Like I'm still researching YouTube. Like this is crazy. I'm learning so many different things. I'm researching about even still with the book, even though I have one of my books, the math notebook. But at the same time, still got to do my research of like how to market it, how to, what are your systems when you're taking all these things in? And people don't think about that. They think about, ooh, let me buy this cute sweatshirt, or let me make a cute little sweatshirt. Let me make a cute little visor. Let me get sunglasses with my name on the side. Like I've seen some very interesting things. They do all this and they haven't gotten their one client. Right. So it's kind of like I just wanted to make this more of like a teachable moment, not to bash anyone.
No.
But to really just to clarify.
Yeah, like guiding.
Yeah, that's it.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was strange. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the whole concept is great. And I think when you get into a good concept and you're like, yeah, it's really easy for me to get started, that's fine. But when you're trying to build like a school, a university, things of that sort, there's a lot of stuff that people don't realize to just run, even like academic programs, like any kind of like, I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done that hasn't even been done. And that should have been done beforehand. But we learn from our mistakes. But here's my thing. I didn't like the fact that the people that started just dumped it. Like that's what it feels like. So, but I think they're going to still keep going with the classes and everything. I think a lot of the professors are doing that, which is great. But at the same time, I don't know what they're going to be doing after this semester is over. So there's a lot of things up in the air. I just pray that people just be kind to the people that are still behind. Just be kind to them because they have no idea what's going on. They're still trying to figure life out right now. Yeah. So
really miss TikTok if it leaves.
And that's the other thing. I'm like, we're having this argument and TikTok might not even be around.
So TikTok is very different than all the other platforms. Like you can just kind of come in and just kind of chill. Whereas all the other platforms, there's like more show,
Yeah. It really is. It's more, and I think that's why that's why so many people were up in arms when there was that one moment. And they're like, okay, we're back. Oh, thank God, that was crazy. And I'm like, no, dude, this is temporary. It's like you lost your license, but now you got a temporary license, and we're praying.
Heard Elon Musk bought Vine, so we might actually have Vine.
Okay.
So we'll see. But
I don't know. Hopefully, it doesn't make it as crazy as X or Twitter or whatever it was now. I can't take that over. So
we'll see.
Yeah. So I mean, that's basically the gist. And I don't know. I met a lot of great people on here, and everyone keeps thinking that you have to do some kind of dancing and all kinds of stuff. Like you can if you want, have fun with it, but you can just do what you need to do and say what you need to say. Don't have to. Well, there's certain words that you have to go around with, but it just seems like there is no filter. If you really think about it.
I actually spent like a half an hour earlier today reviewing my questions for my book.
Nice.
Yeah, because I was recording and I was finishing up my class. for my Abacus Online, and then I realized there was a mistake. I was like, I got to go back and I got to edit. So I was like, you know what? If I'm going to edit, I'm going to do it on TikTok. And so I just turned on the camera and I had just people come on board and be like, oh, I just explained this is what I'm doing.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like you see people, they're like, oh, well, they're cleaning their houses, but they're having like great conversations. Or it's just really, I don't know. There
It's
isn't anything like it. And I don't know what the replacement, like there really isn't. I'll check out Vine, but I don't know.
yeah. Well, I think Vine was similar to TikTok, and then something happened to Vine. I don't know what happened to Vine, but it was before I started getting into all of this like craziness. But I honestly didn't think I was going to get really into TikTok. But now it's like I wake up, I'm like, I'm going to see who's online. Who's one of my friends, and where are they right now? And I see you here and not over on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to come over here instead because I can carry a conversation with you, you know?
Right. And that's the whole thing. So if anything, since we've only had a couple people pop in and pop out on that
Yeah,
side,
please.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna close that side, but then I'm gonna, if you guys want to, you can join me on TikTok because I'm gonna stay and just keep the conversation going. But if anything, I just want you guys to know if you are an educator and you really want to learn how to set up your and basically keep going with your tutoring business, please do not hesitate to go to my YouTube channel, which is You Can Tutor, you as the letter U can tutor. Um, and just go ahead and subscribe, watch, and just binge watch a couple of things. I do have some things that's on there, and of course, this live is going to be on there if you want to watch the very beginning and say, what is Audrey talking about? So that, and then also I've still got my ACG math tutoring YouTube channel as well. Been doing a lot more of my math tutoring stuff on there, and there's going to be some more because I've got some very interesting kids this past weekend, and it's
yeah.
not even the whole weekend yet. So I'm kind of scared to see what I'm going to see tomorrow. Because Friday and Saturday was insane, but it gave me more insight, so more stuff that I can share for you guys. Maybe like may help out with a person that's doing something educational. All right, so I'm gonna end it on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and wherever else is on my wave. But if you want to keep the conversation going, come on over to TikTok.